My guest tonight is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, author of 6 books, and longtime editor of The New Yorker. Please welcome David Remnick. Good to have you back on. Let's jump straight into it. I know it just happened, and we all just watched it, but do you have any initial thoughts on the speech, like any themes that jumped out for you?
Well, I think you're right. I think a lot of people are going to get on television, and they're going to see a guy who didn't, you know, melt like the Wicked Witch of the West, or didn't start screaming or going berserk, or didn't start tweeting in the middle of the speech. And they're going to say, tonight, Donald Trump truly became the president of the United States, and he grew into his job. And no, because what he does as president is what he does. It's not just reading off a teleprompter for what seemed like 3.5 hours.
But what relationship does the State of the Union have with the actual direction the country goes in? Is this a statement of intent, or should we just look at it as a night where Donald Trump has a recital, and we all applaud, and then we go home?
Historically, it can be extremely important in past presidencies, and these are speeches that are labored over for months, and not just the craft of it, not just the rhetoric of it, but the policy direction of the country.
Right.
You know, so you had, you know, Lyndon Johnson speaking about race, or you know, all kinds of presidents laying out initiatives that are going to take you forward.
Right.
And it's very striking to me that clearly the core of the speech tonight was about immigration. And you would think that the most essential part of immigration is our fear of immigration. He talked about MS-13, admittedly a gang, you know, a horrible manifestation or side manifestation of American life, as if it were way more important than something he never mentioned once in the speech: climate change, which is going to change our planet. It is already changing our planet in terms of radical weather events, economies, the life and death of people in all kinds of countries, including our own. Not mentioned once. This is an existential question. But MS-13, a gang on Long Island, which admittedly has caused heartbreak in the lives of some people, and is a real problem, but it's not something that can't be solved.
When you look at that, though, isn't this a byproduct of America having a president who consumes most of his information from Fox News? Because it sounds like a joke, but if you watch Fox News, there's very little, if any, time spent on climate change, but I know there's a lot of segments dedicated to the immigrants who are killing and the people who are coming and bringing the drugs, bringing the crime.
And it's an information loop.
Right.
I mean, you can watch the phenomenon, I think we all have, for what seems like 10 years now, but it's only a year, of that morning phenomenon of the president watching Fox and Friends, tweeting, and then causing the country to be in an uproar for the next 24 hours. I mean, this is not a healthy phenomenon, and it happens every single day. When
we look at some of the ideas that Trump had in the speech, he may not have talked about how he plans to lay them out, but he did have some interesting ideas. For instance, I noticed the Republicans didn't stand and applaud this one, but he did say that he wants to work on prison reform.
Absolutely.
He did say he wants to work on giving prisoners a second chance at life. So there were ideas in the speech where it seemed like Donald Trump was trying to strike a conciliatory tone. But is that lip service, or do you genuinely think he's going to go out and remember what he said today?
Actually, remember that at certain points in his life, Donald Trump, insofar as that he was a political figure at all in New York, was kind of semi-liberal. He used to be pro-choice, for example, until he was not pro-choice.
Right. Well, he chose not to be.
Now, so... and it's noted that both on the left and the right now in America, there's some recognition that mass incarceration is a horror of American life. That we put people in jail at a rate that far outstrips any other country in the world. And it's something that we finally, as a nation, across the board largely, conservatives and liberals and people in between, have recognized that this is a disaster.
Right.
He's paying some, at least rhetorical, some lip service to this. What he'll do about it was not suggested tonight, but maybe there'll be something, I don't know. Same with infrastructure. That's not an ideological question. Fly into Kennedy Airport and you realize, and you think you're somewhere else. That you're flying into one airport after another in the country, or a train station, or a bad road. it's just not worthy of an economy like ours. So that's not an ideological question. Now, whether that comes to fruition, I don't know. But certainly under the Obama administration, when there were infrastructure initiatives, the Republican Congress had no interest in doing things like improving rail service along the East Coast.
So he does have some ideas which are contrary to what Republicans have espoused for a long time, ideas that Donald Trump seems to have come with himself.
He also took credit for a lot of things that were Obama administration initiatives. For example, the policy of the assault on ISIS.
Right.
That's an extension of the policy of the Obama administration.
Right.
The lowering unemployment was a trend line that came right out of the Obama administration. He took credit for all kinds of things having to do with the automobile industry tonight. Last I looked, the Obama administration rescued the automobile industry in a way that the Republican Party wanted no part of,
right,
if we recall. So I don't think he mentioned that tonight.
Well, he definitely didn't mention Obama, and I was surprised he also didn't mention...
No, but he dissed him a number of times.
Yeah, it was subtle, but I was surprised that he didn't mention the FBI. I was surprised that he didn't mention what's happening now with the memo that lawmakers have voted to release to the public.
Tonight wasn't the night for that. That'll come in tweets on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So you see, that's my point then.
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea. So should we compartmentalize Trump into two different people? Do we have a Jekyll and Hyde situation here where we go, okay, you've got like, well, I guess it's like Hyde and Hyde or Jekyll and Jekyll. I don't know which one's the crazy one. It's Trump and Trump. It's just less Trump, more Trump.
Exactly.
Right? Tweet Trump versus talk Trump.
This was the night where the desired result of all his advisors would be exactly as you described. You read off the teleprompter. You give a lot of narratives that touch the heart. We saw a number of those. That's a pattern you've seen on these speeches since the Reagan administration. Right. So that's kind of set in stone. And they wanted no disasters. But meanwhile, what's happening behind the scene? You've got a president that's facing obstruction of justice charges. You've got a president who has said nothing of any substance whatsoever that our Russian adversaries interfered with the democratic processes, with the democratic election.
Right. Even voting against the sanctions.
Well,
or even saying he's not going to impose sanctions on Russia.
Look at the 10 minutes he spent on foreign policy tonight.
Right.
He denounced the authoritarian regime of Iran and North Korea, rightly so. No mention of Russia in those terms.
And so I guess that tells us a little bit about where Trump's mind is. He's living in his world. It's MS-13, it's immigration, he's doing great, and he got you your tax cuts.
Right.
So smile, David, smile.
Exactly.
Smile, Trump got you. We're going to wrap this up.
I'm happy as hell.
We're running out of time. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You.
Good to see you here. The current issue of the New Yorker is available now. You can also hear David every weekend on the New Yorker Radio Hour. David Remnick, everybody.